All right. Start with my bless you. Bless you. Bless you. All right, now by acidulating this water, by adding this acid, we're going to help the poaching process. We are denaturing the proteins. We are creating this chemistry in the pot that's going to help this egg cook and form the way that we want it to, okay? Starting to bubble.
Acidulated water.
This is the longest part, I swear, of any process in the kitchen is just waiting for a pot of water to boil. So if you ever need to blanch and chop something or you're going to poach something, do that first. While you're wheezing everything else, this can be brought up to a boil. It's going to save you a lot of time at the end. And I even brought this up to a boil this morning, covered it with my hand to keep it nice and warm, and it still takes forever. Did you get on camera why I'm using this?
I did not know.
Okay, so this is an induction burner, different than our gas stove tops or electric even, because of the way that it conducts this heat. But you have to have a special pot or pan for an induction burner. Because we only have pans right now, I'm using that to conduct the heat to my pot that wouldn't work on this. So you don't have to do this. This is called an induction burner. So these pans that we have several of in the panic room work, but I'm using this to conduct heat to the pot that wouldn't work on it. So you do not need a pan if you're making a poached egg on a regular stovetop. Okay. All right. The other thing that is not here, because I'm using that right there, that you're going to want is a timer of some sort or watch the clock, okay? I do this pretty much every Saturday morning for my husband, and it takes 3 minutes. At 3 minutes, perfectly poached, okay? So what I have to do first, as this is starting to boil, is create this vortex, okay? Now, if you're in Australia, no, I'm just kidding. So you just want to create this little vortex in your pot of water. Okay, you see that? Adding this spoon into it, drop the heat a little bit. So I'm going to let it come back up to a boil before I add that egg, and I'll do the vortex again. Okay.
Why do you create the vortex again?
You're going to see in just a second. This is going to help that egg wrap around itself. It is exactly 9 o'clock. Leave it alone, okay? Just let it do its thing. What's going to happen is these ends are either going to come off. If they don't come off naturally in this process, have a paper towel there that you can take this out with a slotted spoon, put it on that paper towel, and gently pull those ends off, because that's not a part that you want to serve. It just doesn't look appealing, okay? So these little whites right here, Luis, that either will come off naturally as part of the cooking process. If they don't, have a paper towel handy so that when I pull this out with my slotted spoon, I can put it here and then just gently pull that off before I plate it, okay? So, poached eggs, like I said, my husband eats them every Saturday. He likes them just a little salt and pepper. But the most probably famous plate with a poached egg is eggs Benedict. Okay, so you're gonna have your English muffin, sometimes a piece of ham, the poached egg, and hollandaise draped over the top. Okay. And I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. We don't want it rolling the whole time it's cooking because that's just moving that egg around a little too much. So I had it up to high and like super high, and now I'm getting it to like a medium high.
Spray those. Right in the pan,
We've got just another minute. See how these whites came off on their own? And that's okay.
Chef G, 3 minutes, right? 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Is it 3 minutes? Has it been 3 minutes? No, it's been like 2.5. If you let it go much longer, of course, you're going to get that harder yolk. If it's too under, it's not going to be cooked enough. This is meant to be a runny yolk plate. Okay, so when I cut into this in a second, don't be like, oh, she didn't cook it long enough. It's meant to be runny. It's not meant to be overcooked. All right. Here's our little poached egg. All right, so most of those whites came off naturally, so I'm just going to leave them alone. Plate it. And ta-da! That's a poached egg. Okay? Hey, you guys want to eat it?
Does it taste like vinegar?
No.
No, if you put some of the stronger flavored vinegars in there, sherry vinegar, balsamic vinegar, yes. The white vinegar is really delicate. It's going to be very faint. Lemon juice is really good to use for a poached egg because you do get that sort of bright flavor in the finished product. But usually I'll just use white distilled. It kind of evaporates the flavor. Any other questions about this? Okay, so if you read the WebEx, you know that you're going to be doing this and hollandaise in a lab. Plan for it to be tomorrow, but we'll have to see how the rest of today goes to know whether it's going to be tomorrow or next week. Okay? All right, so you two stay. Everybody else go to the classroom. The video list is